So the reason why we're, celebrating August 11th in Phoenix at Grassroots Book Store is because it's our way of saying, hey, let's honor what it is we started.
Yeah.
It's out of control. It used to be a village thing, a community thing. The babies can come out and listen to it, and let's bring it back.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for checking out SongLab Live. This is our new episode. Enjoy. Make sure you like and comment, share with a friend. In fact, I want to thank everybody for tuning in and joining us today. Here we are on, the SongLab set, and we are joined by Arian Nicole, a wonderful artist who is not only here to speak to us about music collaboration, which we talk about a lot, but also here to share with us some good news about things that she has going up in the future and talk about hip hop in general right now. So I want to shift it over to the other side of the table so you can not only introduce yourself, let people know about your social medias, how they can connect with you, but also let's get going and talking about what we have here today.
All right.
People know who you are.
So first, my name is Arian Nicole. I'm a performance artist, hip-hop artist. I really do not classify myself as a hip-hop artist, but I'm an artist. But we're here to talk about hip-hop. And, been perfecting my craft, for a few years. I have children of my own. I'm a mother in this culture. But I love music. So you got Stevie in the back, you got Michael in the back, and I'm like, those are two central figures in my life. Had a chance to meet Stevie, but we can talk about that later. Yeah,
okay.
So I had a chance to meet him, and but yeah, today is about talking about the 50th anniversary of hip hop culture.
Thank you very much for sharing, sharing what you are going to be doing, the 50th anniversary of hip hop culture. Coming to speak to me about that, it means a lot to me. When I was younger, I actually took a trip to Washington, D.C., where I saw KRS-One speak about hip hop. And he talked about the origins and the beginnings. I said it was like pretty much a display that he was doing on stage, and also talking about his book at the time. And that really inspired me to kind of learn more about hip hop and the origins of, because I'm going to be honest with you, and I say this to everybody personally, but most people don't know, I didn't like hip hop when it first started. I didn't like it. I thought it was too simple. Hip hop, hard. I was like, okay. Yeah, it was too simple for me. I was listening to classical, jazz, some rock, alternative, and things like that, that to me captured moods, expressions, modes of being. And I wasn't getting that from hip hop. That was telling me a story, or it was trying to communicate something, something witty or cleverly, or something that was just kind of cool. And I wasn't cool. I was a nerd. So not being in not being in that group, I didn't feel alienated. It just didn't resonate with me at first until I ran into Wu-Tang. Once I heard some Wu-Tang, I was like, okay.
Fire.
I was stuck. I was on it from then. Let me get from you a little bit. What brought you into hip hop, or did it just resonate with you as a child and you were just always on it? Was it being played all around for you? And then what brought you into the history of it and actually becoming knowledgeable about its roots?
Wow, brother. So to start it off, my mother's living room was where my musical journey began. Mm-hmm. So I'm coming up in the era of conscious hip hop.
Yeah.
And so the earliest records that really caught my attention in hip hop was like Eric B. and Rakim, right?
Okay.
So you have Rakim, right? God MC.
Yeah.
So I'm listening to him, his delivery, and it's just like, sparking a light within my mind. I'm like, okay, that's cold. That's a cold way to say it. He coming off with, wit, clever, the things that attract us to hip hop, or attract us to rap, right?
Yeah.
And so that caught my attention. Now, mind you, it's not only hip hop, but that's a hip hop artist that caught my attention. And so it's my mother's living room. I'm taking the cassette tapes, right? Womp womp. If you don't know about it, then look it up. Cassette tapes. And so what we had was a dual cassette player. So you put the tape in side A, side B you had. And so what we would do, or some of us, what I did, was I would hit record. and I would, do my little rhymes or raps or my beat or whatever. And then what you do is you take another tape and you put it in, you play that one back, press record on the other, and start spitting so that you have your tracks, and you're producing. And so that's how I was making records, playing for my family, writing my first rhymes because of Rakim, because of Sister Soldier. If y'all don't know these names, look them up. But Sister Soldier, she was my first introduction to a Black woman spitting about our community and our people. I remember hearing, it's 1995, you a slave. Like, like slavery back in effect. Why? Because you are not paying attention. They could put you back in a certain situation. Are you conscious? Are you woke to what's really going on? And I'm singing right along with her. Her music makes you want to like march right in cadence. You're like, what? Original salute? No. And so, so she was a warrior, and I just gravitated to that because I saw the condition of my people. So it's my mother's living room, but it's also me looking outside the window to see what's going on with our people. Brother, and I was young, but I felt the pain. So that's why I resonated so much with Stevie and Michael. They tapped into it. And the vibration that they sent into the hood was like larger than life, And so that resonated with me. But hip hop became the tool by which you can put a message over the beat. You can articulate it. And teach and talk to people. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that's the power of hip hop. That's the power of my mother's living room.
Nice.
And so, yes, sir.
Well, I think having that inspiration growing up opens you more to not only the struggles of our people, because we were really communicating through hip hop. We were communicating our struggles, our experiences, but it also opens you up more to what I felt when I got into hip hop, because I didn't understand the delicacies of it. But when I did get into it, it opened me more up to the world in a way. Like, even though I was learning about, okay, these hoods over here, this hood's over here. But as hip hop started encompassing other cities and other areas that I wasn't traveling to, I would learn more about the way hip hop was over here and the different brands and flavors of hip hop. So it opened me up into more, I guess, United States view instead of a world view at the time, but it really opened me up to more. Looking at hip hop's progression over the time and how it's moved from city to city and kind of took a life of its own throughout the 50 years of hip hop, what would you say has inspired you through that growth? Because, I mean, I see it still growing more on a commercial pop level, but in that raw growth throughout these 50 years, what have you taken from that? What have you noted?
From the raw growth, there's definitely has been an evolution. So you go from Rakim, Sister Soldier, X-Clan, Wu-Tang, to, where it is now. Of course, there's a difference, right? But we still, we have our, I think the brother's name is YMB Corday. Of course, we have Miseducation of Lauryn Hill along the way. We have Common, right? But I would say, the reason why I decided to celebrate hip hop on August 11th here in Phoenix at Grassroots Book Store is because I feel like there's an element that we're not taking to heart within our culture, right? Within hip hop today with this generation. And so the evolution to me, my personal experience is that I'm not feeling the life, and I'm not feeling the love, and I'm not feeling a vibration that will cause us to feel like our children are 100% well cared for within this culture, right? And that's me. I'm a mother. I can only be me. That's me. And that's my point of view and how I'm looking at it as a woman, as a mother, as one who is active in our community. Rather, I'm looking at it and it's not Rakim no more. It's not Sister Soldier no more, but I understand that there's evolution. There's going to be changes, but don't leave out the original principle. Don't leave out the fact that it was the CNN of the ghetto.
Yeah.
You know, don't go too far into money to where you leave behind the message. That's what August 11th is about.
Would you say that there has been, you know, a separation from hip hop and community? Like it does seem as though there's a lot more money to be made in hip hop now, and we can do more in hip hop as a people now. But do you feel like we're taking that opportunity seriously, or how are you feeling about the state of hip hop and how it's affecting the community?
You mentioned there's more money to be made. There's a historical fact that I learned about the industry, right? I learned that at one time, you know, we were the industry. Our Black radio is what made our Black stars.
Okay. Let's talk about it.
And so you had Isaac Hayes, who was one of our artists who didn't go into the contracts of joining like, you know, these record labels. Like he stayed with the Black radio, you know, network. But what happened was that you had, you know, those outside of our community see the business opportunity.
Yeah.
And so they offered us money because they knew that we were going to make $1 million. So they said, we'll front you that, you know, and then, you know, tie you into a contract with interest. So it was loan sharking, right? So we could have waited, you know, to get our money, you know, over time, because you were going to get it.
Yeah.
But to get it faster in a lump sum right away, it's like, oh, snap.
Yeah.
Right? That's when the changes started happening. So when you say there's a lot of money to be made, music, we know, I think at one point, $24 billion was made in the music industry. Big portion of that was hip hop. My standpoint and what I'm saying with the money is that how come we are millionaires and billionaires, we don't have educational institutions because of it? Why is it the music industry and what we're making, right? These record executives and whatnot, long sharks, filthy rich. Why isn't our community being invested in as a result? It's an institution. We're in need. We are the culture. But why are we depleted?
You know, I think the asking these questions actually leads to the celebration of hip hop, because it brings us back to our original goal, to that original message, which is not only to just express ourselves, have fun doing it, lift ourselves up, bring us out of the ghetto, but also to teach us a better way to kind of learn from our conditions, to create new circumstances for us to grow in a better condition than how we were living before. I listen to hip hop now. I'm not hearing much of that. So it's good for me. It's good to hear that the celebration will be bringing that back, or at least acknowledging that that's a staple in hip hop. I've said this a lot, and I want to ask you this, and then we can go into the event details, because I think people need to know, like, what is this event about? We've been touching on it a little bit, but I want you guys to have the details for sure. I've said that the problem with Black culture right now is that we are taking entertainment and assigning it to Black culture when there's a difference. There's hip hop, and then there's hip hop culture. And you can have rap to be a part of hip hop, but, you know, certain raps or the way that you rap may not be a part of hip hop culture. Like if you have parody rap or things like that, which can be, I guess, you know, still there's a separation, I believe, that isn't respected. I think things that we do in entertainment shouldn't be associated to us as a people, such as, you know, hey, just because it's popular that rappers have guns, just because it's popular that rappers talk about women this way or act in this way, doesn't mean that that's us as a people.
Right.
done for entertainment. So I'm wondering how you feel about that and hip hop being used to push cultural narratives that don't apply to us as people. And then I want to get into the event.
Well, brother, this one is serious, because this one makes me, I just have to say it straight up. It's killing us. It's killing us. It's a business move. They say this is business, nothing personal, right? That talk, right? This is business, nothing personal. Well, the fact that it's business is not personal, or it's not human, right? It's just, like you say, entertainment. It makes money. And so when you talk about it not representing us as a people, that's a fact, right? It's almost like the narrative they told us about we were in the jungles, swinging from trees with bones in our noses. Yeah. But then we built the White House and everything else. You know what I'm saying? Don't mix. There's a lie in there somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So, it's so much I could say about it, but the fact that we're being used in that way over money in the name of fun.
Yeah.
Brother, because of the condition of our people, I don't find it fun. Now, here's where we have a lot of differing of opinions. Some of it is reality. Yeah. Now, we're not going to sit and say that we're not suffering, we're not shooting and killing each other. We're not in, an impoverished condition, across the country, or we're not involved in, domestic violence, like what happened with the sister Suki, that we don't, do things like that to each other. Women are not suffering, at the hands of, domestic violence and being, having, being sexually assaulted. We're not saying that it don't exist. But like you said, what I'm saying is that how come it's celebrated? How come it's celebrated? And brother, really, when we get to a point where we say enough is enough, don't care about the dollar. I care about us not perpetuating a certain image, of ourselves on behalf of our future, on behalf of who we really are.
Yeah.
It's one thing to take advantage of someone's condition. That's what it is. It's exploitation. Not saying other people don't go through it, but it's exploitation. Do you ever want to get out? You know what I mean? I have to go back to being a mother again. I don't want my children to suffer. No one wants their children to suffer. What I see when I see it, these images, I see images of a people suffering. Now, you can use the reality to teach, but I don't think you should use the reality to keep the reality going. There was a brother, I think it was Reverend Al Sharpton. He said, when I wake up and look in the mirror, and you got sleep in your eyes, maybe some swab, you know what I'm saying? And you hair afro-matted, pick your afro daddy on the one side, like Erica said. The mirror is there not only to reflect what you see, but to correct what you see. So look at your condition, but use it as a mirror to help correct what you see. Because in your right mind, in your sane mind, we don't want our people to suffer. But then you have to deal with the issue of your self-image. Because a mirror is, is your self-image. If you believe this about yourself, there's something we need to work with, right? Because we know our people are great people. But we need us now to step up and be gods. I'm going to just be 100%. Yes. We're gods. Gods create the reality that they want to see. Here's another thing. Whew. Satan is a god too. Okay? He's a god too. Why? Because he made us after his image and his likeness. He said, hey, he's after the money. He's materialistic. Well, he tapped into that within ourselves. Well, brother, We got to take a stand. Have to take a stand.
At some point.
At some point. I think it's now.
Yes.
Right now.
And we're doing that in a way with this next event.
Yes.
This celebration.
Yes.
Guarding the culture, making sure that we are protective of what we built, even if it's now not even in the right hands. We're still gonna keep what we know to be true in it. So can you speak to me about this event, what's going on, and how you're looking to celebrate the last 50 years of hip hop?
Well, brother, I want to do it in a very communal way. Community. When it started, or the official birth date of hip hop, is said to be August 11th. And that is where DJ Kool Herc held a block party August 11th on Sedgwick Avenue. And he was doing it, for his sister. It was like a back to school celebration. He was DJing. But there was another thing that he did that really impacted the culture, was that he was the one who was looping break beats, like drum beats. Looped them over and over and over, right? And that's where we got our sample style from, where we're rapping over loops and drum breaks and beats. So that's a pivotal, part and piece of hip hop. So that's why they attribute August 11th, as a very significant event, because when you go back into the history, people argue over the original birth date and whatnot. So I just wanted to offer that piece of history about DJ Kool Herc. He really contributed to the culture in a groundbreaking way. Because to this day, what we do, we go on the stage and we rap over loops.
Yep.
Yeah, he was doing that. He scratched that and he created that sample technique. And so the reason why we're, celebrating August 11th in Phoenix at Grassroots Book Store is because it's our way of saying, hey, let's honor what it is we started.
Yeah.
Let's honor what it is we started. It's out of control. It used to be a village thing, a community thing. The babies can come out and listen to it, and let's bring it back. Let's talk about that. And when we say let's bring it back, we're not saying, because they attribute hip hop, right? When you say hip hop, they think of our pioneers or our old school heads and things. They think it's an old thing. The principles of hip hop is not old. Like we was talking about before, you cannot put an age on loving your people in your community. That will never be dated. You cannot put an age on putting intelligence in music.
Yeah.
KRS-One talked about hip hop meaning intelligent movement. The hip was intelligent and the hop was movement, intelligent movement. That will never be outdated. So what we need to do is put on a new lens when it comes to hip hop. Hip hop is me, it's mine, it's ours. Take control. August 11th, we are inviting our people out to take control, to have community ownership of what is yours. We own Grassroots Book Store. It's ours, yes. Right? You come and get your books and you celebrate culture. It's a place where we can be ourselves and look, the exploitation is an offense to me. It's an offense to me. I mean, for someone else to become enriched off of stereotypical things about us.
Yeah.
That's what it is. But here's the thing, brother. Our babies, they don't know. They don't know. That's another major reason. Our babies need to know, right? They need to see brilliance coming out of the speaker, right? Example, right? I will tell you, I had a conversation with some young artists, some young rappers. One of them, he was like 19 years old. He found out that, we were doing a hip hop celebration. He's like, can I perform? He said, but I'm going to be 100%. My stuff is vulgar. Yeah. I said, well, brother, no, you can't perform vulgar here, yeah. Right? But I said, here's what you can do. You can come to one of our writer sessions and you can be exposed to the great writers of the past, Pop, Langston Hughes, right? Different ones, right? We'll talk about them. We'll play these different musical pieces. Whatever you are inspired to come up with, that's what you can perform. Yeah. August 11th. And they like, man, right?
Yep.
And they like, well, you spit something. You spit something. They always want to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Freestyle something. I freestyle something. They like, okay, you know. I get a text from his little sister. So I'm going to tell you something. He ain't feeling these female rappers today. He said, but he's still talking about you. He's still talking about you. Now, I'm going to be honest, brother. Some people write this generation off. But we let it get out of control. We let it get out of control. That's another reason why I feel like we need to do it, is taking back control. As a mother, I'm looking at my children, and I can see and peep certain influences, because rap is powerful. You're sending a message in the ear. Not only that, you got it on a dope beat. Yeah. So now my head is like swinging, right? And you know the science. Whatever you hear frequently, right, will be your frequency. So my frequency now is vibrating on whatever I'm hearing frequently. What are they listening to frequently? Sip this, pop this, right? Drill music, you know, rat-a-tat-tat, your own, you know, brother and sister, frequently. So just like you look in the mirror, you have an affirmation or whatever you tell yourself, you know, you start becoming. So we don't understand the science behind vibration and frequency and listening. You know, you could talk to yourself positively and your body will respond. You know, just the way you are what you eat, mentally, physically. That's hip hop. So that's another reason, you know, we got to love. We got to love. But if we don't love ourselves, you know, we don't have we don't stand a chance.
You got to start that love by, first off, celebrating. Celebrating what we have.
Yes.
And looking towards how we can correct the direction for the future.
Yes.
And I think that people are going to be able to get some of that when they arrive August 11th.
Yes.
At 50th, you know, celebration of hip hop.
50th
Grassroots Book Store. That is literally, you know, I can't wait to be there. Can't wait to congregate with y'all and, you know, celebrate what I love and do myself. But it really is a good reminder for people to know that, hey, got to take it not only, you know, are we having fun with this thing, but we have to bring it back to the message and instill some values in what we value. So that's wonderful. Yeah. Thank you very much for sharing not only this event, but, you know, your journey with hip hop.
Yes.
Can I get you to let people know how they can find you, your music? Tell them a little bit about what you have coming up personally in your music, and how can they find you online?
Okay. Well, personally in my music, I will be releasing new. I'm performing at the Hip Hop Festival #1, August 11th. So definitely, you know, come and see me. Come and see some amazing local talent. I mean, we got, it's going to be so much magic. You know, we got people on a panel discussion. We talk hip hop origins panel. So we're going to have a panel discussion of missed performances.
Yeah.
So the centerpiece is the conversation and the art. So come for the Friday night concert. One thing I have to say, brother, are the people who are supporting us. Grassroots Book Store.
Yeah.
It's the Phoenix LLC event. Yeah. Arian Nicole and Phoenix LLC presenting, you know, the Grassroots Hip Hop Festival. It's the Grassroots Book Store. Straw and Wool Hat Shop is supporting us. Nice. Marmara Studios is supporting. I Rock Daniels. Definitely. So see, this is a community event. You know,
we're supporting. We're supporting.
You know what I'm saying? So we're all coming together, and I'm just so excited. But you can find my music. You can find me on musicisalive.net.
Yeah.
You can find more about the Grassroots Hip Hop Celebration on musicisalive.net. And brother, it's, you know, it's a movement. So yeah.
Well, thank you very much for sharing that movement with us. We are glad to be a part, and you guys be on the lookout for more, because we're going to be bringing it to you throughout this time. Look, don't ignore the advertisements. We're trying to celebrate what we all love to bump in our cars while we taking showers, when we wake up in the morning.
Yes.
We need to play us some good vibrations. We're trying to bring that back to hip hop as a whole. So thank you very much for tuning in and joining us while we spoke about it. Have a good evening, y'all.
All right.